Hello, everyone. Welcome to Rob's Sunday Comments. See, I've been away so long, I can't even say it. Here's the wonderful thing about going live. There's no chance for editing, nothing like that. Welcome to Rob's Sunday Comic Corner, episode 9. I went back through my videos and I saw that it has been almost 6 months, 5, 6 months since I've done a Rob's Sunday Comic Corner, and probably for the last 3, I've been saying, hey, I'm going to get back to doing it. Hey, I'm going to get back to doing it. I've been collecting comics since then. I think when I started doing Rob's Sunday Comic Corner, I had a stack about this big. Going clear back to episode 1 of Rob's Sunday Comic Corner, the whole reason I wanted to do something like this is to have somebody, or I hope I'm talking to somebody, about reading comics that I enjoy reading. I was going back through my channel and replying on comments, and I need to be more proactive about going back and commenting on people's comments, and I appreciate all the comments that I get. I'm just a little slow replying. And I had somebody ask a while back, do I read any Marvel? I don't read any Marvel now. I did as a kid, and it's not, I mean, everybody pretty much knows that I'm a DC guy through and through. I love the Marvel films. I have a good stack of Marvel comics, but it just wasn't something that I read. DC was always kind of where I put my hat in the ring to as far as superheroes go. And of course, obviously, Robin, is everywhere around my room. So that's generally what I read, were the Batman and Robin titles out there. So just the whole point of doing doing a comic corner or doing something, I just watched other reviewers just get a chance to talk about reading comics, and that's the big reason why, me personally, why I wanted to do it. If I have 2 or 3 people watch it, hey, cool. So it's not that I'm not reading X-Men, or oh, Rob must hate Marvel. No, I do, and sometimes it just comes down to dollars and cents for me, that I just don't have the extra income to. If I had an unlimited budget, yeah, I'd be reading everything, but I wouldn't have time to be doing videos or playing in some different groups that I play in, or just having other spare time that I'd be reading so much. It'd be a great problem to have. But I do enjoy reading the books that I have. This Sunday Comic Corner, I'm going to try and keep these a little bit shorter. I know sometimes they would go on the 40-minute mark, and sometimes they would go into an hour, because I was trying to cover so much. And the whole idea for me is sitting down on a Sunday is when I generally read my comics, sometimes on a Friday. I generally pick up my books on a Friday. That's my first day off. And then I'll read them sometime through the weekend. But generally, Sunday's the time that I would sit back, relax in a chair, and just read, 6, 7, 8 books, whatever it is. And then I thought, oh, it'd be cool to sit down and talk to somebody about the books that I've read. And then I think I was trying to put so many books in all at one time. So until I can get caught back up, as you can see, there was a very large stack here. I'm going to do them now that it's been about 6 months, and I know I stopped right about the end of Convergence, right when summer hit, and then we got into our summer plans, and went to Buffalo to a wedding, and then just kind of got lost in doing other summer activities, and I kept going, oh, I'll read those later, oh, I'll read those later. And then, well, here we are with being later. So if anybody wants to hear my thoughts on how Convergence all panned out, I was going right along with it. Like I said, I derailed myself. Basically, the long and the short of Convergence is that it did a soft reset of the universe, that everything is now up for grabs for writers to write about. If they want to write about a specific era or time frame of DC Comics, they can do that. And I think that Crisis never happened. I think they wiped that from continuity. I think I would have to go back through and read it. But if anybody wants to hear my thoughts, I'll go back through and read that Convergence series. Basically, it was just a setup to get us to where we are right here. So in the description that you saw, the 2 books that I'm going to talk about, which is about 3 books each, actually, is Robin, Son of Batman, which is going to be 4 books, and then Teen Titans will be 8, 9, was it 8, 9, and 10? I don't even know my order. Sorry. 9, 10, 11. So 3. 3 books for Teen Titans and 4 books for Robin, Son of Batman. To kind of catch you up of the books that I'm currently on and the books that I've dropped. I talked about it in my convergence talk as we were getting close to the new DC YOU is what they're calling it. I dropped the Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo Batman title, and I've never been somebody that's dropped a book because of a writer change. When Jeff Johns left Green Lantern back when the New 52 is still very much a New 52, people dropped Green Lantern like, well, if he's off the book, I'm not reading anymore. I still continue to read whatever book it is because it's my favorite hero until A, there's a subject matter that I can't stand, or the book is just going off in a weird, wacky direction that I'm like, forget it, I'm dropping the book. And sometimes that may be because of a new writer coming in, but I'm always going to give the new writer the benefit of the doubt. And I've been a big supporter of the New 52 ever since it started. And one of the big flagship books is the Batman title. It sells great every single month that it comes out. And Snyder and Capullo have won great awards. And you got Court of Owls, Death of the Family, Endgame that just recently ended. And now we're into this new era of Batman. And it's the subject matter in the Batman title for the reason that I dropped it. And that was Robo Batman, Commissioner Gordon Batman. It's one thing to say, okay, Bruce is dead or Bruce is no longer Batman, so it's one of the Robins that takes up. It's, Dick was a Batman for a while. Snyder was even toying around with Tim Drake possibly taking up the mantle of Batman, and then Batman Beyond came around. We'll talk about that in a second. Where Tim Drake is Batman Beyond in the future, that's not really kind of tied in. It's a whole other thing. So because of that reason, Snyder's like, well, I've already used Dick. I've thought about using Tim, so we didn't want two Tim Batmans. So we went with Commissioner Gordon, and that's where I lost interest in the Batman title. I hear that the writing is fantastic, and Snyder's telling a really good story, but I don't find excitement in reading about the adventures of Commissioner Gordon as Batman. To me, it's like, what's the next step? Alfred is Batman, and then that guy down the street is Batman. I get he's trying to tie in, how the police work and all these other type of things. I like the Commissioner Gordon role where he looked up to Batman and said, oh boy, if I was younger, I probably could have done something like this. So you got a Commissioner Gordon now that's shaved the sides of his head and shaved his mustache off. Looks like he's been drinking power shakes all day. And he's like, I'm doing push-ups, and all that type of stuff. And he's got this robot suit that he wears part of the time. I'm like, that's not Batman at his core. It's Batman in by title. That's like the Cleveland Browns leaving Cleveland and going to Baltimore and still trying to call them and then they're in Baltimore, and now the new Cleveland Browns come in and saying they're the Cleveland Browns. They're only Cleveland Browns by name. The technical real Cleveland Browns are in Baltimore. I don't mean to start a football war here, but that's the quick analogy that I could think of right there, or however you want to say that. To me, having the history of whoever the Robins are, somebody that gets why Batman is Batman. Again, I've only read one issue of it, and I was like, meh. And I know Bruce Wayne's very much alive. He has no idea that he was ever Batman at all, which is kind of interesting. That's the angle I wish they would have played, is you follow Bruce more than you follow Commissioner Gordon doing his thing. So if anybody out there likes that book, maybe convince me to pick it back up. I will once Bruce Wayne is back in the Batman suit and we're off and running again. I know it'll probably be a little bit. I'll probably pick it up in trade rather than going back through and picking up single issues. I didn't think that I would stop buying the Snyder Capullo series comic because I love the writing and I love the art so much, but it was just the subject matter that I'm like, Commissioner Gordon running around in a mech warrior Batman suit that looks like Chappie does zero for me. So that, if you like that book, tell me in the comments, well, Rob, I think you might like it because such and such. So I want to show you real quick the books that I'm on currently now. And again, they're all DC. And these aren't like you have to be reading the book. These are just the books that interest me. So maybe they'll interest you, or maybe you can tell me other books. So and real quick, I've got this one right in front of me. Not that these are in no particular order. Justice League United. I thought this book was getting canceled going into the new DCU, and it did get canceled. I think I've got issue 11 and 12 here. I think it's going to issue 13, maybe 14, and that's it. So I told the guy at the shop where I get my comics at that after issue 11, I said, go ahead and drop me from the book. And he said, it's getting canceled really soon. Don't you at least want to complete the run that you have rather than being short 2 books? So I've read this first one, and I was not impressed at all. But the newest issue has Batgirl on the front cover of it. Not that that makes it any different, but I'm kind of curious how they're going to wrap it up. I did like Justice League United before Convergence. That was a fun book. So that writing team disbanded. They put this team together of Parker, Foreman, and Cox. Snooze. Sorry if you like the book. It just wasn't doing anything for me in this first issue. I know sometimes it's like, don't judge a whole story arc by the first cover or by the first book. Sometimes you got to go a couple issues into it. So maybe I'm pointing a finger at myself about Batman, but still. So this will probably be one of the last books that I review because I'm just kind of about it. But that's not today. I just kind of want to show you Batman Beyond, and I've got the first 4 issues of the new series. I was never a big Batman Beyond fan. I've kind of said that before on the channel. Yes, it's Tim Drake in here. So all of a sudden, Rob's reading a future Batman story just because Tim Drake's in it. Yeah, I'm that guy. But I'm still not totally sold on. I guess I'm okay with Elseworld stories. Speeding Bullet was really good. Red Sun is great. Kingdom Come is really good. It's more like future stories. I would even give a pass to Damian being Batman in the 666 universe. That was really cool, knowing like this is going to happen. This is a book that is living in Future's End universe that is no longer going to happen. So it's only in that Future's End universe. The current DC books are never really going to get here because of the events that are going on. So that makes no sense to kill Terry McGinnis off. I don't know how they're going to wrap around this. Although currently Tim's Batman Beyond suit isn't functioning properly. So the only suit he has available left is the Commissioner Gordon bat suit. So that has me scratching my head going, how does Tim get a hold of that? So it's kind of connected somehow. We'll get into that once I review these books properly. So I'm on the Batman Beyond book. Again, big Tim Drake fan, so yeah, I'm going to read it because Tim's in it, but not 100% sold on the Batman Beyond thing. So that's just me. And one of my rogues is... there it is, Anthony. I thought you didn't like Elseworld stories. Screw you, buddy. No. Generally, the Elseworld stories don't bother me so much. It's more future things. I mean, it's kind of like The Dark Knight Returns. The Dark Knight Returns is out of continuity completely. And I never read it when it was coming out. I only read it, in the more recent years. And it's good. I know some people right now are probably unsubscribed to Robbie. He does not like The Dark Knight Returns. It falls into my Elseworld category. It can be a good story, but to hang my hat on it, it's just not me. But I'm kind of getting into doing some of that stuff. So, and I think some of my reservation in it, I like my chocolate to taste like chocolate, my vanilla to taste like vanilla. I want Bruce Wayne to be Batman, and I don't want any deviations and any of that type of stuff. But you have 75 years of history. Sometimes you do have to look and go, hey, well, what if we had this thing happen? It's not a part of your normal continuity. So the Elseworld stories I am warming up to. So that's my long-winded answer. Grayson is another book. I was like, I don't want Dick Grayson not being Nightwing. This is a stupid idea. I enjoy this series. I'm eating crow with this series. I did not think Grayson was going to last very long. I thought the Grayson fans were going to rise up and say, we want our Dick Grayson back as Nightwing. I hope he comes back as Nightwing, but this is a very good series. So this is one you're going to see here, and this ties into Batman and Robin Eternal, which I will talk about in just a little bit. I'm on again, off again with my love of the Batgirl title. I think there's a part of it that I think I need to be a 12-year-old girl to appreciate this book. I think I need to be a girl sometimes to appreciate this book, and none of those are bad. If this is the type of book that is bringing young girls and women in general to comics, I will wave that flag all day. I'm starting to get into it. Maybe it just took 3 or 4 issues to get into it. So it's getting better than what I thought it was going to be at the beginning. So I don't mind it. And this issue is the very, very close meeting of Dick Grayson and Barbara Gordon, since everybody thinks Dick is still dead. So I'll be curious to talk and review about that one. We Are Robin. You could categorize this as not an Elseworld, what's going on. The idea that there are going to be multiple Robins in the DC universe. The first 2 issues that I read, absolutely fantastic. I like the concept. And me being such a Robin fan, I'd be joining up with these guys. I would get to be a Robin and do my own cool, unique costume. And this is going to be tying into the Robin War that's going to be celebrating the 75-year history of the Robin character. Very, very cool. So if you're not reading We Are Robin and you want the crux of what it means to be a Robin, I think this is going to be really good. Again, you'll get a proper review on those. This is a big one that Jeff Johns and Jason Fabok are just rocking it on this. The Dark Side War. Some big revelations are coming out of this book. This is the DCU that I like. Superman is still Superman. He can fly. He's in his normal suit. He's not dressed like Superboy. Although people tell me that title is good. I don't typically read a lot of Superman books unless he's in a team-up book. But this is my old Justice League book that I like, although there's some new things to it. Batman may be a new god. He's got some other powers here. I've got some other comments coming on here. I'd be Robin too. What kind of Robin would you be, Rob? What kind of Robin would I be? I'd run. I'd probably try to run really fast. I don't think I'd be a really good fighter. I'd have to have some type of a staff, or not really a sword, a stick or something like. I'd probably have. I would take a rake, the handle off of a rake, and then I would probably have some type of hood up. Maybe kind of quasi-capish, more like probably a vest type thing. I'd probably hit somebody and run really fast. That's the kind of Robin I'd be. I'd probably get my butt beat in a fight. I'd probably try to want to be a techie Robin and try and do some computer type stuff. So that'd be the type of Robin I'd be. And hopefully get home in time for supper. This is a book that really surprised me. Justice League of America. This is one of the books that is I would call it a flagship. This is a big reason of the DC YOU. Telling a story, the writer, Hitch is the writer on this, and he is telling his own own Justice League story out of the context of everything else. It's its own universe. It's not tied into anything else. So you have all of the main 7 Justice Leagues in Aquaman, Superman, Green Lantern, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Cyborg in this book, and they are exactly how you remember them being. Granted, they're in their new 52 costumes, but they don't have to worry about being anything else other than the story that they're telling, and it's really, really good. The first issue was $5.99, and it was chock full of stuff. So I can't wait to do the review on these. I got the Joker 75th anniversary cover right there. That was pretty cool. Here's the proper first cover. So this was really, really, really good. I recommend this book. It's generally $3.99, but the very first issue was $5.99, and it was a thick, thick book. So there's that. Deathstroke by Tony Daniels. This has been a really, really good series. They de-aged Slade Wilson. He has both eyes now. It's due to a fight that he was having. I think I covered that right before Convergence, explaining how he got de-aged, and it's kind of Lazarus Pit, kind of mystic type thing. Again, Tony Daniels went to the proper, I shouldn't say proper, what I would consider the normal Superman book and Superman's wearing a cape and can fly and has all his superpowers, which is kind of cool that the writers and creators don't have to worry about an overall continuity. They can just focus on telling a good story. And Tony Daniel's saying, I want a Superman that can fly, and I want Wonder Woman that's Wonder Woman. So this has been really, really good. I kind of knocked him on his New 52 Detective Comics. I thought his writing was kind of suffering and his art was kind of suffering. I don't know if that was just he was being pulled in different directions, but being writer and artist on this book for him, Deathstroke, is solid. It's a beautiful book to look at, and it's a really great story. Then Green Arrow. I have yet to read any of these. This is the first DC YOU title. After they kind of reset some things, and Green Arrow, did I say Green Lantern? Green Arrow. This costume's a little bit different. I haven't read any of this yet, and I'm up to issue 44, so I've got 4 new issues I haven't read yet. I'll kind of make my decision if I'm going to keep reading it. It's kind of one of those, you get a stack of books, and then I'll read the Robin title and Teen Titans and read, Justice League right away every month, but then some of the other books kind of get into the bottom part of my list, and I start looking at it going, if it's one of the last books that I'm reading every month, is it something I can maybe stop getting and put that money towards something else? So I'll see after I read these 4 whether I'm going to keep going on to that or not. Then the last, other than Robin, Son of Batman, and Teen Titans, which I'm going to talk about for the review portion. The other 2 books that I can't recommend enough, if you're a fan of the Batman Arkham Knight video game, I highly, highly recommend the Batman Arkham Knight video game comic series. There are 2 series out right now. I've got 5 issues to catch up on to be current with my Rob Sunday Comic Corner. For people that are reading Batman and Robin in the New 52, written by Peter Tomasi, and if you liked that, he is writing both of the Arkham stories. He's telling a really good story. This is a prequel to the video game of what was going. Actually, both series are a prequel to the video game before what was going on. Kind of fleshing out some things, fleshing out the Tim and Barbara romance. If you want to know how that started, it's in this book. What Dick was doing, kind of like, it's literally right after the events of Arkham City End is where this story picks up. So it's the year gap between Arkham City and Arkham Knight. So it's a really, really cool story. And it's also Bruce dealing with the immediate death of the Joker and thinking, I think I'm probably done. I don't think I need to do this anymore. Then that's when the Arkham Knight slowly starts to come around. So that kind of ties in with Bruce wanting to hang up the cape and cowl, and then that kind of happens at the end of Arkham Knight, kind of, sort of. Sorry, are those Arkham Knight comics post Arkham Knight video game? No, they are pre Arkham Knight video game. So I think hopefully I said that. So yeah, it's all the events that are going on during that year gap between City and Night. I highly recommend it. You get to see the creation of the Batmobile, which it's in its prototype stage, the tank Batmobile. So that's really pretty cool. You get some really cool issues, and it's not always focused on Batman all the time. It could be Nightwing. Metamorpho makes an appearance in the series. We didn't get him in the video game, but we get him here in the Arkham Knight. So they really dig deep into the well, and Tomasi is no stranger to Batman. So I can't recommend this enough. And then the other one from the Arkham Knight video game series is Batman Arkham Genesis. This goes, it's basically between Asylum, City, and Night. So if you want to know what happened to Jason Todd and how he became the Arkham Knight, this is the video game. This is the comic book series that I really recommend, as I'm a little thirsty, sorry. And I like the series for one basic reason, which I also like the reveal of the Arkham Knight being Jason Todd. That some people were kind of upset by that. I don't want to have to know everything. I have, I bought this book recently. It's Second Chances. This is the Jason Todd story in the comics. So I'm glad they didn't follow this in the Arkham video game, or we would have seen it coming a mile away. So I like that things are different in the Arkham universe, that, you know, Tim and Babs are together. People like, Tim is supposed to be with Dick. Well, yeah, in the normal universe, we know how that story plays out. Let's Elseworld, you know, for somebody saying, Rob, you don't like reading Elseworlds, the Arkham universe is an Elseworld. It is, and I absolutely love it. And this is kind of what's bringing me around to some of the Elseworld stuff. So I can't recommend Batman Arkham Knight Genesis enough. If you liked the video game and you like the Arkham Knight character, you will get to see how and what the Joker did to Jason, and Bruce's relationship with Jason and how that changed, and how quickly Batman found Tim Drake after losing Jason Todd. Really, really good. So that is the those are the books that you will see here. Some other ones could creep in depending if I'm going to be not dropping, but Justice League United is going to be canceled, so I may throw something in its place. I eventually will probably bring back the Batman title, probably once I pull my comic foot out of my butt with the Gordon subject. But the two books that I'm going to talk about today, let's pull them out here, we'll start with Teen Titans. Still telling the ongoing series. I'm going to kind of nutshell these right here. We're looking at Teen Titans 9, 10, and 11. This is I shouldn't say one of the few books. There's probably a good 10 books that took a break during Convergence, and then after Convergence was over, whatever things got changed a little bit, then they went on to tell their story. Teen Titans was currently doing that right in the middle of right at the beginning of the Convergence series, and it's dealing with Connor Kent. Connor Kent, I can't believe I said that. Con-El, Superboy, is wanted for murder, and it is dividing the teams. And Manchester Black, who is part of the Elite, has been saying he's on the side of the Teen Titans, and he and his elites have caused a fracture in the Teen Titans. So you have Red Robin, Beast Boy. I am losing all of my character names here. Pardon me. A Bunker, and I said Raven. There is one other here. Chimera. Those are the Teen Titans that are left together. Chimera came in right at the very end, right before Convergence started. So that's the Teen Titans team. Everybody else, Bart, Kid Flash, had come back from being left kind of in outer space on his prison. They really haven't explained how he was able to get back, so I'm kind of curious how that's going to. Wonder Girl has taken the other fraction of the Titans, the new Power Girl, and I'm trying to see everybody that's basically they've joined the Elite. The Guardian has been brought back into the comics, so that's pretty cool. Let's see, Kid Flash, Trinity, Wonder Girl, Guardian, Power Girl, and I can never say this name right. Klaaion. I don't know. Looks like kind of a little devilish imp type person. I'm probably totally butchering that. So Booster Gold, geez. Manchester Black is now trying to. I'm assuming that Manchester Black and Superboy, since the Elite, there's a Superman versus the Elite storyline. They did an animated movie about it, and it was a very popular comic book series for a while. So I believe some of those events are kind of tied in with Superboy, that Manchester Black is basically telling Red Robin, look, you're out there trying to free the name of your make the name of your I'm totally getting tongue-tied trying to prove Superboy's innocence, and is basically telling Tim, I'm just gonna let everybody know that you're out here and you're part of Superboy's murderous team, and you're all going to be brought to justice, and there's nothing you can do to save Superboy. And I think it was one of those that if Tim would have let his guard down and would have just kind of joined the Elite, Manchester Black could wreak some big havoc. And I think from what I'm gathering, Superboy knows some stuff about Manchester Black and was trying to stop him, and has ended up getting framed for murder. And Connell is really having no memory of that. He's starting to piece all of these pieces back together. And at some point, there were two different versions of Superboy running around in the New 52. So I'm going to have to kind of go back into that series and see when they switched places back. For a while, we had an alternate universe Superboy that was the evil son of Clark and Lois Lane that was the murdering Superboy. So that may have kind of happened, and then when Connell came back, he's the one getting framed for it. I really like the Teen Titans series quite a bit. When Scott Lobdell was writing it, it was really a chore to go through. When Kenneth Rocafort is on the title, the book is absolutely beautiful. I'm not entirely sure what his schedule is like, if he's on other books or if he draws very slow. He's doing a lot of the covers, but Watanabe has done issue 10. Rocafort did issue 9. And Rickner did the most recent issue of Teen Titans, and it's I don't know, the art kind of wavers here and there. I think Rocafort and Rickner are the two best artists so far on the book. So I'm kind of curious to see or to know why Rocafort, his art is absolutely beautiful, but why he's not consistently on the book. Pfeiffer has been writing the book since the reboot of the Teen Titans book. So we're up to issue 11 now, and he's been the constant writer and has done a really good job. The book feels more like the Teen Titans than it did when Lobdell was writing it, and I felt like that book was just all over the place. There were a few good issues in that bunch. I'm curious to see how this is going to turn out. You basically have like three factions of the Teen Titans. You have the Teen Titans group being led by Tim Drake. Then you have the elite version of the Teen Titans being overseen by Manchester Black and being run by Wonder Girl. And then you have Superboy out on his own trying to clear his name. And Raven is kind of stuck in the middle. She's not sure where she needs to put her allegiances to. She's with Tim's team, but I think it's kind of causing a little bit of a struggle. The most recent issue, they broke into Belle Reve prison, and Tim and his group of Teen Titans did it for one single reason. They were trying to escape Manchester Black, but they know this is the location where they can get Superboy to come to them, and there's some reason, which we don't know yet. At the very end of the issue, Superboy crashes in through Belle Reve prison to help Tim escape a blockbuster, and Tim comes face to face with Connell and says, "We have to talk." So I thought that was a really cool beat that they had there. And I think they're slowly going to be wrapping this series up. I think a lot of books suffered from Convergence. And it was the whole DC moving from the East Coast to the West Coast. So a book like Teen Titans that was really kind of picking up steam kind of suffered a little bit with the whole Convergence title. So I feel like there's been a couple issues where it's like we have to play kind of catch up. Issue 12 should have come out this month, but for some reason it's not till the very end, actually in September, but it skipped a whole month. So I'm kind of curious why that happened. I'm digging Teen Titans quite a bit. I would still really like a proper Tim Drake vehicle, but it is what it is. So that's Teen Titans in a nutshell. And when we get back to single issues, I can kind of go through them a little more in depth. Robin, Son of Batman, issues 1 through 4. This was one I absolutely love. I was not sure how Patrick Gleason was going to be doing the writing of the book. He's not known for being a writer. He's a wonderful artist. He's got a huge long list of credits in the DC universe in comics, and most notably in the Batman and Robin title, where Tomasi was writing that book. So I think he spent a good 3 to 4 years under Tomasi, just kind of learning the craft of writing. And I think being an artist, you tend to pick up story beats rather well, and after you're kind of drawing to somebody else's words, you're basically a writer yourself too sometimes, in that you're getting your panel layouts correct, and getting the action beats moved in. So I was a little nervous, just because, you know, it's not like I could go read a Patrick Gleason book ahead of time to kind of get the feel of how he was going to write the Damian character. And I thought, oh, is it going to be like somebody else that's trying to do double duties on writing and doing the pencils? Are one of the two going to suffer? And I'm happy to say that this book is off to a fantastic start. I already loved his artwork in Batman and Robin, and I loved, when I think of Damian, I think of his version of Damian over, you know, Kubert's art or anybody else that's drawn Damian. I always think of Patrick Gleason's Damian, and he's telling a really, really good story. And it's kind of like a globe-trotting event for Damian. They really haven't addressed too much of what's going on in Gotham City. That's going to happen when we get into Robin War. But Damian's on his kind of own mission. He's left Gotham and is wanting to atone for his year of blood. I believe this was like right before he is introduced to his father for the very first time, to kind of prove his worth and allegiance into the League of Assassins. He was out on this year-long killing spree, hence the Year of Blood, which this storyline is getting its main story from. And Damian was going around taking artifacts from different cultures and races that he had either killed, or in a lot of cases, you know, he obviously had killed people, but to bring things back for the League of Assassins to prove his one-day ownership of the League. And since having been with his father and knowing those evil, wicked ways he can't be doing anymore, he wants to atone for all that. And especially after losing his superpowers and wanting to find himself in being Robin and who Robin is to him, he goes off to kind of make amends for all that. And without his mother around, which, spoilers, Talia al Ghul is alive, he doesn't know that yet. We're getting closer to the very first to the meeting, I should say very first meeting, the first meeting of both of them since their supposed deaths. Talia doesn't know Damian's alive, and Damian doesn't know Talia's alive. So that's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. Something I really liked about this book is that Gleason put in the very first story arc in the New 52 with Damian and Bruce Wayne was the Nobody storyline. So in this, at the end of that storyline, Damian kills Nobody to save his father. And in Robin's Son of Batman, Damian comes face to face with Nobody's daughter, Maya. And they, obviously, she is very upset that her father has died. And I do, now that I recall, Damian does know that Bruce is gone, so that spurs him to go out across the world and kind of atone for what's happened. And Damian ends up kind of telling her, saying, like, you know, I've lost my father too, because he believes Bruce to be dead. So it's a really cool pairing. My only reservation for the book when it was solicited is, who is Damian going to work with? Not that he has to work with somebody, but he's 10 years old. He can't be out there on his own. And he does have a pet with him, Goliath, a very large red man bat. It'll be kind of cool once they delve into Goliath's story. It was really kind of cool. It's his mode of transportation also. With, you know, you would have Batman and Robin. If this was a Tim Drake Red Robin series, or when it was the Tim Drake Robin series, Tim was old enough to be on his own. He could kind of pair up with different people. So I don't know if Maya is going to become somebody that Damian is going to work with, you know, forever, or for, you know, a long extended period of time till he goes back into the Batman team. But I think this is really cool, and that, you know, Maya's a girl and Damien has, you know, the only female figure he ever kind of looked up to or respected was, of course, his mother. So having somebody that can kind of match Damien blow for blow and kick for kick in Maya, who I believe Maya is 13 years old and Damien is 10, so there's a 3-year difference. There was a funny line in the most recent issue where Maya, Nobody, and Damien are fighting side by side, and Damien says, "Who do you think's the sidekick in this scenario? I surely am not." And Maya says, "Well, you're wearing the sidekick colors." So I thought that was really kind of cute. So that's basically what this Robin Son of Batman story has been, is Damien kind of dealing with who and what he is and wanting to atone for all the wrong and missteps that he's done. In some cases, he stole a gem from some ancient pyramid, and the pyramid gods have kind of awoken and wreaked havoc on this town. And when Damien took the original stone, he was like, "I don't care, it was just part of my mission." So him coming back and wanting to make amends to all the people that he had hurt or wronged, and he has kind of a list that he's going off of. And Maya is kind of an unwilling, she's willing and unwilling at the same time, and she's a really interesting character, and I like that. The most recent issue, in issue 4, Damien comes up face to face with Deathstroke. Maya was kind of sending Deathstroke out on some missions that they touched in briefly in the Deathstroke title, that he was getting like assassin assignments, and Maya wasn't making good on paying Deathstroke. Deathstroke had no idea that the original Nobody was dead, so Deathstroke decided, you know what, I'm going to come and I'm going to collect my reward from Nobody. Found out where Nobody was operating from and crashed the party on Maya and Damien, and was going to kill Maya. Said, "I don't care, your father owed me money, or you owe me money, it's your life or owe me money." So Damien whips out his Batman Forever checkbook, if you will, or Batman and Robin credit card, if you will, and basically pays the debt for Maya. And it was like $5 million, I believe, is what it was. And Maya was like, "Why are you doing that?" And Damien says, "I'm paying all debts. The year of blood is going to go beyond me." So as much of a snot as people said they didn't like Damien for being, they're really starting to write Damien very mature, but still has that snot tendency at the same time. So it's been a very, very good series. I can't recommend Robin Son of Batman enough. I know I kind of put in these 2 titles really quick, but with having 4 books, probably from each single series, this would be a really long series of Rob's Sunny Comic Corners to just talk each single book that, you know, I'm reading. So that's Teen Titans and Robin Son of Batman. Both titles I enjoy very, very much. I did briefly want to talk about Batman and Robin Eternal. It's the new weekly series from DC Comics, celebrating the 75th anniversary of the Robin character, and most importantly, the Dick Grayson. He is the one actually celebrating the 75th anniversary. I'm doing a podcast over at the BatmanUniverse.net. It's called the Batman and Robin Eternal Podcast. It's actually part of the Batman specials. So if you're on your iPhone, or you've got your Droid or your Windows phone or whatever, if you go to the Batman Universe podcast feed, just look for the Batman specials, and then the subheading in that will be the Batman and Robbie Eternal Podcast. That's where myself, Luke, video Batman reviews, it's on here on YouTube, and my good buddy Terrence, who does Robin, Everyone Loves the Drake comic podcast. The 3 of us get together once a month, and we talk about, we've only done 1 episode, kind of like the introductory episode, for Batman and Robin Eternal. So this is the only book that we covered, and we just kind of talked about the 75th anniversary of the Robin character. Issue 2 has come out. Initially, I was not going to talk about Batman and Robin Eternal on here. I kind of want to save that for the podcast, but I will talk about kind of currently what's going on in the book to kind of give it a nutshell. It's going for 26 issues as opposed to the 52 that Batman Eternal did. As much as I liked Batman Eternal, I think one of the stumbling blocks for Batman Eternal was it was 52 issues. So telling this long narrative, there were a handful of books sometimes that seemed really slow, like they had to drag out 2 or 3 issues in telling a story. I think this is going to run a lot smoother, being half as many issues, and the story's going to go a lot quicker. In the very first issue, they covered a lot of ground. Batman and Robin, Dick Grayson. It's like a time jump. It's one of the last cases Bruce and Dick were working on is Batman and Robin, and then currently what's going on in the current Batman universe right now. But in this first issue, we've had Batman, Robin, Scarecrow, Harper Row, Red Hood, Red Robin, Grayson, Mother, which is the new villain that's going to be in this. I'm flipping this open here. We have Spiral that is in here. We have some kid assassins. Cassandra Cain. How cool is that to finally have Cassandra Cain brought back in the DC universe? Stephanie Brown was brought back in Batman Eternal, so a lot of people were really hoping when this was announced that Cassandra Cain would find her way back in. So I think we have most everybody back in the DCU that we lost at the relaunch of the New 52. Wally West, I believe, is back in the Flash universe. His ethnicity has changed. That's a whole nother topic. I'm just glad a Wally West character is back. We've got Stephanie Brown back, and we've got Cassandra Cain. Donna Troy has recently been brought back in the Wonder Woman title. I know I'm probably forgetting 1 or 2 other people. The Batman and Robin Eternal issue 1 was off to a great start. Again, you can go to the Batman universe and listen to that episode. We talked quite a bit about it. And there's an overall theme that we're kind of seeing starting in this book of, are the Robins like pre-selected in some type of way? Are all these Robins connected somehow? I think that might be the overall arcing thing that's going on with this book. In the most recent book, we just get a little bit farther into that story. And a moment that I really liked out of this, Harper Row is getting attacked by, I can't remember, the Orphan. That's what it is. It was getting attacked by the Orphan, another new character in this. And Spoiler breaks in and stops the fight, or actually Dick Grayson comes in as Agent Grayson. Stephanie Brown realizes, oh, hey, you're that guy from the TV. You were Nightwing. So Nightwing's identity is still very much ever present in the DCU. So it's kind of cool to see how that's worked. And then he makes a mention of, you know, or Stephanie says something like, what's that odor? And Dick says it's an odor that he'll never forget. And he said it's fear toxin. So I'm kind of curious, is Mother using some fear toxin? Because this is tying into a story or a case that Bruce and Dick were on. One of the last ones was a Scarecrow case that Bruce and Dick were working on. And then it flashes back to Bruce and Dick as Batman and Robin tracking down the Scarecrow for the very first time, and Dick getting overwhelmed by the fear toxin. And he has this horrific vision of all of Batman's villains basically saying that you're not good enough for Batman. You're an easy target. You're going to be the death of Batman because you're not fast enough. You're not quick enough. And Dick is laying in the middle of this cornfield as Robin, saying, I'm not good enough for you. I'm not worthy. I'm a poor choice. Why did you choose me? So I think that choice goes into what Batman and Robin Eternal is going to be all about. So that's it for the Sunday Comic Corner. So I guess it'll be another 6 months until I do another one of these. I apologize it's been so long. And I know some of these are going to go by a little quicker. Having so many books to talk about, I'm not going to be able to go through individually issue by issue, or this is going to be a 5.5 hour podcast or video cast. So thanks for watching. I think I had 2 viewers off and on. So Anthony and Olivia, I believe you were probably the 2 that were watching. You're the only 2 I really told about it. Hey, I got 3. So the 3rd person just chimed in just as I'm getting ready to sign off. So go back, check it out. Next time up, I'm going to be doing probably Grayson, and I will be doing the Justice League Dark Side War. I can't wait to do that. And I believe also I'll be also doing a few issues of Batman Arkham Knight. So we'll see you on the next Rob Sunday Comic Corner next weekend. See you guys. Bye. And the next video I have ready to upload is going to be my Batman Arkham Knight 3-pack of Harley Quinzel, the Electrocutioner, and Lady Shiva. So thanks for watching Rob Sunday Comic Corner. We'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.